Okie doke. Well, good morning, everyone, again. Today is Saturday, the 19th, is it? Yes. Of
No, less, isn't it? No, it's
18.
it's the 18th.
18th.
Don't sell us short on days. Can't afford it.
And I think you've got an event this week, Andre, coming up.
I do, yes.
I always forget, is it the
Called
20th
Thanksgiving.
20th or the 22nd? Hello, Mary.
Hello.
Anyway, we
What's
will
the
remember
event?
on the day. So, welcome to our lovely meeting. As Andre reminded me last evening, can you believe it, Meryl? We've been going for 3 years. I think we all deserve a big clap for that and a big glass of aloe juice. But well done to us all to still be here and still doing this. And so this week has been a really significant week because congratulations go to Bob Hammond, who has recruited some members of his family into our wonderful team. And so we are recording specifically thinking today of new people in our meeting today. And Meryl, as you'll see, it's always good reminders, and we're grateful for all the input that anybody who is here is able to give. So our program for this morning is about 10 minutes on Tre-en-en, which I will do. And then Andre, you're going to do something about how to open conversations. So it'll be a continuation of something that we started a couple of weeks ago, reminding ourselves and thinking about how do we talk to people. Is that okay, Andre?
Yeah.
Slip of coffee. So, Rob, I just want to share, please. So can you just open that for me? I'm just going to put up a picture of Tre-en-en. And we're going to start off just for 10 minutes on Tre-en-en and the importance of this product. You will, I'm still disabled, Rob. Anybody who is anybody in your life knows that everything hinges on an incredible product called Tre-en-en. And I'm still disabled, Rob.
Well, I've set it up. I'm sorry, Monica.
Okay, well then we're going to just leave it for now. So Tre-en-en is our main starter product that we have in our product range, and it started in the 1950s when in a hospital in California, a research hospital, they were trying to sort out and find out why so many people were in hospital tired and sick, and they were administering to people bits of oil extracts that were coming from grains, and nothing was changing. I found this out again recently when I re-looked at the story, and at the bottom of the crucible, the urn, or they were using to squeeze the oil out of wheat, rice, and soy grains, there was a little bit of a darker substance, which they then presumably put in a teaspoon and put down people's throats. And blow me down, guess what happened? They all got better. And so that was the beginning of Tre-en-en, the foundation product of Neolife. And that the oils come from, and Andre, you often describe it beautifully, the little heart within it's the germ, the wheat germ oil. And because of is it up, Rob? Because of there we go, here's the picture. Food processing, the people we were not getting as a population these very important oils. So what the company did was they started off with just the Tre-en-en, and then they had a combination which was a liquid with the Tre-en-en mixed in with multivitamin and multi-mineral combo. And then it morphed as things moved from the mid-1950s through the 60s and 70s. It turned that they managed to encapsulate it, first of all, as a Tre-en-en on its own, and then as which I'm not going to share any pictures on, a product called Formula 4. So for many years, Formula 4 was the go-to starting product, and I really, really recommend it for people even today. It contains iron, as well as the vitamins and minerals. And it's my go-to product for people who are runners or sports people. It's a very good one for that. I've heard testimonies from somebody, I think Lynn Banks uses, it's her favorite product. And I've heard testimonies of people with headaches who've started on Tre-en-en, on Formula 4, and guess what? Their headaches and etc. immediately are improved. So without going into too much detail, all the Tre-en-en is doing, it's working on your cell membrane, amongst many other things, obviously. And that cell membrane, if it's not soft and easily pliable, I suppose is a good word to use. Andre, you'll give me some better ones, I'm sure. The food can't get in and the waste can't get out. So then you have a tired cell. So we're talking at a cellular level here. And so the Tre-en-en makes the cell wall into a functioning, helps to make that cell function properly. After the Formula 4, the company then took the iron out and they added molybdenum, selenium, and chromium into the formulation of the Formula 4, and they call it Formula 4 Plus. And that you can purchase in it comes in a sachet with 2 tablets, a tablet and a capsule. And you can get that in 30s or in 60s. The Formula 4 comes in either 60s or 120s. One a day is better than nothing. To be consistent is the trick with the use of these products. Too many people just take it and stop. They think of it as medication. It's not. It's food, and it needs to be consistent. So after the Formula 4, we have the Formula 4 Plus, which is in a box with the sachets. And then if we continue looking at that line of the Tre-en-en through, the company then evolved into a product called Pro Vitality, which is not available at the moment, but will be back in February. And in that one, we have, again, a lovely sachet, box of 30, perfect for a month. And it has a Tre-en-en, a multivitamin and mineral, and a carotenoid complex, and an omega-3. Also to be added in on the Tre-en-en range of products, there is for what we call the toothless ones, but also used by people who don't like swallowing tablets or capsules. We have the Liquivite. You get 48 teaspoons out of that bottle of Liquivite. And that's an excellent one to start small children on, even babies, from about 6 months on. I wouldn't probably go earlier, but some people, cracking open a single capsule of Tre-en-en and sticking it practically into a newborn's mouth when mothers aren't looking. Granny's got the baby for the weekend. Baby is sick, we'll give it some Tre-en-en. Just remember, we are talking food, we are not talking medication. And so the Liquivite is a very, very useful product which has got Tre-en-en in it as well. I won't go into detail on that at the moment. It's a whole training session on its own. And then our marvelous, wonderful, extraordinary, amazing Vita Squares for children. Chewables, which have got everything in them, bar one thing, and I will mention it here because I don't think it is that important. It has all the vitamins and minerals, except it hasn't got calcium in it. Calcium is quite heavy and therefore difficult to put into the little Vita Square. So there are other ways for a child to get their calcium in. But the Vita Square is a no-brainer. It has changed not only my life when my children were small, but Andre, you've got stories about it as well. So the Vita Square has got Tre-en-en, multivitamin and minerals in it. Perfect for children. All right, so without much more ado, I think my 10 minutes is up. And Andre, would you like to add anything else here that I might have left out?
No, I think that's fine. It's just like a hierarchy of products that are based on Tre-en-en as its foundation, and one needs to get Tre-en-en into people by hook or by crook.
Andre, can I
Even
just interrupt you?
Yes.
Is that noise of banging coming in to the, can you hear the banging in the background?
No.
No, okay, good. We had a terrible hailstorm this last week, and we've got a guy here fixing the tiles on the roof.
Yeah, no, we don't hear it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so just also I want to add, as far as Tre-en-en is concerned, is that it is the reason why it is one of the best starter kit products, because people feel the positive result very quickly. Within a matter of days, people can feel more energized, and it can improve everything for people, even if that's the only product they can afford to take at the time. Some people, that's all they take for the rest of their lives. Other people, like me, the basket of what you take grows and grows and grows, and every new thing that comes, you want to be part of as well. But that would frighten someone off if it was the first story they heard. Yeah, so it's an excellent product, and the other good news about it is that there is absolutely no other way of getting it. No other company has anything remotely related to it. So it is unique to our company. It is unique in its effectiveness, and it is what has launched some of the most enormous businesses in Africa, just that product. Quite amazing stories. Yeah. That's all I want to add about that, Monica.
Thank you, Andre. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I take on days when I'm feeling a little bit down, I take one a day, and at the moment I'm taking one Formula 4, not the plus, the Formula 4, because it's convenient in that container for Rob and I both to use. And there are days when I can feel the stress levels going through the roof, or I'm very tired, and I just go and take a couple of extras. And that's also something to learn as we go along, that I learned very quickly to start reading my own body. I don't know why we don't aren't taught more about reading our own bodies. And so I can, but of course you've got the tools with Neolife. And when one gets that feeling of being tired, worn out, the Tre-en-en is a immediate go-to, amongst other things we won't talk to about at the moment. Andre, you're going to go now into, we were talking the other day and you made a commitment, I think, I'm holding you accountable now, about making phone calls to people, and not necessarily cold calls, but calling up people who you've been in touch with over the years and reconnecting, or else trying to find a way to not to be threatening to people, to give them an opportunity to be of assistance to those of us who would like to expand our businesses. So from product, we now move into some business building tips. And you drew up a lovely question that you sent out. I saw that, kind of like a template. And I think I'm going to hand over to you now just to talk more on the kind of questions we can ask people without sounding like we are trying to coerce or whatever. Is that a good enough introduction, Andre?
Yeah, I hope I can tick all those boxes. We'll see how it turns out. I've got a few points that I want to make and elaborate slightly. And I was trying to make like a coherent story, and it wasn't really possible. So they 3 or 4 different points, all pointing in the same direction, and tips for things we can do to open up the conversation with people, because until we are talking to people, be that literally with our voices or with messaging, until we're putting ourselves and what we want to offer people in front of them, we have no business. So it is a fundamental skill. And Monica, I hope that you have equipped the new people with the electronic version of the Go Pro book, because it's an important tool. And then the other tool that is on our library, Rob, if you can find it again, is the Kim Claver book. We've shared it a number of times on this. It's called If My Product Is So Great, Why Can't I Get People to Buy It, or something along those lines. Anyway, so the first thing I want to remind us of is a man called Tim Sales. Tim Sales is still around, but he was a very substantial, significant network marketing guru, 2 or 3 decades ago. And he built an enormous business, and then he was teaching people how he did that. And one of the things I remember very clearly that he said, and that was that he spent many, many, many hours talking to his teddy bear to practice his presentation skills. So he would practice a business opportunity presentation. He would practice an invitation. He would practice all the things that we need to do to put our business in front of people at different levels of the interaction. And he said the reason he practiced was that he wanted to appear to be very professional when he was actually telling people, and also not to get all nervous, and then you fumble around and you feel a bit awkward, and the person you're talking to feels awkward, and so on and so forth. So I just want to remind us all, myself included, that we need to practice it, and we can do it talking to our teddy bear, or Meryl, if you're ironing at the moment, the ironing board, or whatever, your grandchildren when they're around, or the walls, or in fact to people. Yes, Monica.
I'm going to interrupt you, Andrea, because you Cas Wilsonach, who's very well known up in this neck of the woods. He was a traffic cop, and he always tells the story how his children would be looking at him saying, "What are you doing?" Because he'd get dressed in a suit, he'd go out into the garage, and he would do his practicing to the lawnmower.
Yeah. Okay. Same story. And and he's got a huge business. His parents had a very big business. He inherited his parents' business. Take note, people, this is inheritable. So the effort you put in doesn't die with you. It's not like your career. And so they're probably going into a 3rd generation by now. And he did just that. He practiced to become excellent. So just bear that in mind. So the next point I want to make is that one of the most important things we can do is to develop an ear to listen to what people are saying in all conversations. They need not even be a conversation directly with you. I'm not saying you overhear other people's conversations, but if you're in a group and there's a conversation going on, you listen very carefully to what people are saying, because people drop hints. No, they're not hints. They drop clangers about what is concerning them. They are very open, actually, about things when they're just talking. They're not being interrogated. And so you will hear people talking about real concerns about their finances. You'll hear people talking about real concerns about their own health or their mother's health or their kids' behavior or whatever. I've had a couple of occasions where people have been talking about having tried everything under the sun to try and clean stains off their precious carpet. And so there are all sorts of things where we can possibly offer them a solution. We can't promise them anything, but we can possibly offer them a solution. So develop that ear. And when you start hearing people's needs being expressed by themselves, do not jump in right there. That is very ineffective, very rude, very aggressive, very all sorts of things. It's a no-no. Rather, take a mental note, and as soon as you can, jot it down somewhere, because our mental notes are notoriously slippery. Jot it down, and a day or so later, go back to that person and say, I've had you on my mind ever since we were in that group chat. You know, we were together on Saturday morning or whatever it was. And one of the things you said was, and you bring their attention back to something that they themselves said. And then you can say, you can commiserate, or you can say something like, I myself had that experience. I found a solution to the problem. Would you be interested to know, or can I tell you about it, or can I show you, or whatever? And more often than not, people will say yes, because you haven't pounced on them. You've told them they've been on your mind, which is absolutely true, because if they weren't, you wouldn't have remembered them. They feel appreciated because they have been on your mind, and that you've in fact taken the extra trouble to get back in touch with them and find out more about the issue and possibly have a solution for them. So the listening ear is super important. I also suggest that you have some way, be it your phone, however it is you keep information front of mind, have some way of jotting that down as soon as possible. That person, that, you know, and remind yourself that the next day you've got to get back in touch with them. Otherwise we forget, and we lose any number of very, very, very valuable opportunities just by not taking the second step of action. So developing ear, and take note of this, of the comment, the situation. Don't pounce immediately. Go back, say that you've had the person in your mind, and they remind them what they themselves said, and then offer a potential.
So sorry.
Sorry, what?
Sorry about that.
What happened?
I had the volume on, just turning the volume off my phone. Someone was ringing.
I didn't hear.
Okay,
Okay, so that's that. Then the third point is that I recommend we go back to our Getting Started booklet, particularly the newest one, which is a much better booklet than the older one. I've just done a comparison, and it is way, way superior. There are lots of tips there as to how one can engage people, start the conversation. We need to look at those. We need to practice those so that they become easy to speak. And we need to find the ones that work for us, because not every suggestion works for every person, but you know, their personality differences and so on. So please pay attention to your Getting Started booklet. If you are an old distributor, make sure that you buy one from the back office so that you've got the latest one available to you. And then I want to bring your mind to Kim Claver. Kim Claver is a favorite of mine. She's also been a guru for donkey's years. She's elderly like me. She has risen to the top of we become treasures, Monica. National treasures.
You are a treasure, Andre. You are indeed. And Mary, you've just
So she has risen to the top of 6 different network marketing companies in record time in each case. I mean, that is really, that is unbelievable. And one of the things she speaks very strongly about is that, you know, there's this mantra, shall we say, that you should get excited with rejection. You should get excited with the no's, because every no brings you closer to the yes. And she said, it's true to the extent that it is a numbers game, but it is not a very good way of building a business, because it is so undermining of one's self-esteem, basically. I mean, getting no's is just awful. And if you get 10 no's in a row, particularly if you're new, that's just awful. So she has different ways of doing it. Yes, Monica?
I just want you to repeat what you said there, Andre, about the negativity or the rejection that Kim Claver says. Don't worry. If you can't remember, don't worry. I'll go back over the recording. Don't worry.
I can't remember what I said.
Okay.
So one of the things she recommends, and it really works, I've tried it, I find it easier to do, I find I'm more comfortable with it, and that is, it's an indirect approach. And I believe that there are suggestions of the indirect approach in our Getting Started booklet too now. But what she says is that instead of speaking to an individual and asking them directly if they are interested in some way, either in your business or in your product, you speak to people and you say that you are looking for someone who, do they perhaps know such a person? Okay, so the person you are speaking to does not feel like an animal in the headlights. They don't feel that they've got to say yes or no, and their knee-jerk reaction would almost certainly be no, because that's how we are. We're tuned to say no because we are bombarded with stuff all the time. So my first reaction is effectively no, and then I think about it, and if I change my mind, I go back and I say, well, actually, I've thought about it, it's a yes. But my first reaction is a no, because I just don't want to be forced into a corner to make an immediate decision or commitment or whatever. And, you know, I liken it to going into a shop. I can't bear it when a shop assistant comes up to me and says, can I show you something? My immediate reaction to that is, thank you, but I'm just looking. Because I am at that point just looking. I don't want someone to come and try and sell me something. When I have looked and found something that I like, or alternatively have looked and not found something and want to find out if they have it, then I speak to the shop assistant. So it's that 1 degree of separation from the sell. And so people are much more comfortable with that. And what I have found too is that some of the people will say, no, I'll have to think about whether I know someone who might be interested, but actually I might be. I'd like to hear. So you have given them the freedom to invite more information without them feeling pushed into a corner. And it works like a charm. So just this week, I approached a young woman. She became a user of firstly, the kids' nutrition in about July. Her kids they're young, they're 8 and 5 or something, that sort of age. They are constantly catching every bug on the block, always sick, always going to the doctor. I was able to tell her that I had almost the identical experience with my kids. I found these supplements. I gave them the supplements, the kids' things, and it turned my kids and our lives around. She said she'd love to try, which she did. She is delighted. Since they started, the kids have not had to go to the doctor. So that's 5 months or something where they have not gone to the doctor again. She joined as a distributor, not to do the business, but to get the full discount price. She orders on her own, and her basket has increased because she has added the adult equivalents to her order for herself and her husband. So it's a nice 50 to 70 point order every month. Anyway, her name is Sally Ann. So I contacted Sally Ann, and I said to her that I was really looking for someone to work with, a colleague. You can call it whatever you like, a colleague or a buddy. I also added that, you know, I'd like to mentor someone because I've got so much information that I can share with other people who, to support them in their businesses. Did she perhaps know anybody? And my thinking was people her sort of age, you know, moms of kids of that sort of age. And I got 2 responses from her. One was that she did know some stay-at-home moms who might be interested. She just wanted to know a little bit more from me as to what qualities I would like in those people. And then the other person, she said, is that she actually thinks her mother would be interested. And so I've had the conversation with the mother. The mother lives in Umtentweni. The mother expressed all those cautions, you know, it's too expensive, and, you know, I live in a retirement, you know, most people are retired, etc., etc. And I was able to tell her to turn all of those around. You know, it's the retired people are looking for money, just as she told me she was. You know, it's the retired people who play golf just as she does, who need to keep their joints in good nick. She spoke about you know, they don't have a lot of money, people like that. And I told her, you know, that may or may not be true. It depends on the value they put on their joints. You know, you know, it's a priority thing. But there will be people who do have the money, and that we are there to serve the people who can afford our product. We are not there to market people. I mean, to market to people who are in a different socioeconomic bracket. It's like any other item. You shop at Pick and Pay clothing, or you go to a designer shop. You know, it depends on what your pocket can accommodate. And so I was able, and we all can, because we know these things, I was able to answer the objections. It hasn't happened yet because she then wanted to talk to her daughter. And I'm sure, absolutely certain, that her daughter will encourage her to now do this thing, because her daughter and I have got the relationship, and her daughter knows the products work, etc., etc. But watch this space. So it's a very comfortable way of being put in front of people who are already quite likely to be interested in what you're going to say. You will still get some no's, but that's not a problem. The number of no's, the number of feelings of rejection will be reduced markedly. So those are some things to practice. I hope it's been helpful. And we're nearly out of time.
Amazing. Andre, amazing. Thank you.
We all need to act. Me too.
Yeah, it is. It's taking action. And
action.
I love the way when Rory does the business presentation, he always says, it's the dream, it's an opportunity, and damn well take action, although he doesn't say damn. That's what we all need to do. And sometimes I think the struggle that, or let's use the word, the challenge, what we've learned over the years is to overcome that feeling of paralysis, which then affects our ability to take action, because we haven't yet learned all these skills. And so this is an amazing skill you've given us this morning. And certainly for me, I'm going to use it this week for sure. I think if I can just summarize also what you were saying there, Andre, is that at the end of the day, this is all about relationships. And that's why the word sell, when we do the business presentation, is a bit of a misnomer. Because yes, of course, we've got to sell. And of course, we have to learn the selling skills. But the power is in the relationship. And I think we've got to find the way we can tell people what you've just explained to us, this wonderful indirect approach. We look for ways to connect with people and to build those relationships. We've only got 1 minute left. Can I just
add, you can also use that approach with, say, a gym. You know, you can go to a gym person and you can, I mean, an owner or a whatever, and you can say, you know, I represent a company that has really got some quite remarkable weight loss weight management products.
Do you know anyone?
If you know some people who are diligently coming to the gym and they're not able to shift that weight, and they might like to take a look at these to add to their toolbox, you know, if you know such people,
yes,
would you be able to put us in touch? You know, that kind of thing.
Let's just keep the ideas in mind and share them with each other next week
Okay.
for other indirect approaches. And I
Okay.
don't think there's enough time now for house